Right, welcome everybody to Fazliv's podcast, episode 24. Today is all about Olympia predictions. So it's the Mr. Olympia this weekend. I am super pumped for this. I have never been as excited for a Mr. Olympia as I am for this one. I am super pumped. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, really excited about this one. So what I wanted to do today was I wanted to give you my top 10 predictions. Everyone's got their own say about this, and I'm going to give you mine. Okay, so we have seen the official scorecard. The first time I saw it, Luke Sandow put it on his story. So I'm just going to read off. These are the numbers that the people are listed in no particular order of who I think is going to be, in any position. These are just who is competing. That's all. So we've got William Bonac representing Netherlands, Max Charles, USA, Hadi Chupan made it from Iran, Lucas Osladil from Czech Republic, Michael Lockett from the US, Mohamed Shaban from Egypt, great talent by the way, he looks amazing. Dexter Jackson, Steve Kuclo, both from the US, Luke Sandow, UK, the only UK competitor now since Diasha is unfortunately out. That's a huge shame. I was gutted about that. Patrick Moore, Cedric McMillan, John De La Rosa, Juan Morel, Brandon Curry, Akeem Williams, all from the US, and Rolly Winkler representing Curacao. So I'm going to talk you through who I think are my top 10. And then I'm hoping on Sunday I'll be able to do a sort of a recount and reaction based on who actually won. So we'll see how close I get. But, everyone's got their guesses. A lot of these guys are on social media and they've been very vocal. Some of these guys have hidden away and are hopefully looking to bring a really good package on the day. So we'll see how it goes. We'll know more on Saturday. Yeah, we'll know more on Saturday. From what I can tell from the Olympia website, I had a look at this the other day. Thursday, we've got this is in American timing. So Thursday 10 a.m. is Olympia conference, which means I think for us, what is that? It's like 4 p.m. something. Friday 7 p.m. is prejudging. Saturday 7 p.m. is the finals. I'm guessing probably because that's going to run on for a while because it's just finals for a lot of the bigger categories. So that's going to run on for a while. I'm thinking I'm probably going to see the results. Yeah, Sunday morning when I wake up. So let's get into this. Right, number 10. So I'm going to go straight into my top 10. I'm going to try and explain kind of what I'm thinking. Number 10, I've got down as De La Rosa, John De La Rosa. Now, I did have Cedric McMillan here, but Cedric posted something on his Instagram feed recently. I think it was basically from today. No, yesterday. And it said, last day of work and last day with my youth program, did Vegas tomorrow. I don't know. Like, Ollie, my friend Ollie Jackson, he pointed this out as well, but that's already sounds like an excuse. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's doing great work. Like, credit to the guy. Like, he does a hell of a lot of stuff outside bodybuilding, which is fantastic. All up for that. Completely support that. But posts like that, I'm not a huge fan of because it just makes it sound like we're making excuses at that stage. So and we already know that Cedric is kind of notorious for not bringing a good condition. So hey, sorry Cedric, but he's been knocked out of my top 10. So I've got De La Rosa there because we know from the past De La Rosa can get in good shape. Not only that, but he's a big boy as well. So there's plenty going for John De La Rosa. So I've got, John De La Rosa is the 10th place. The other thing about De La Rosa is he's been pretty quiet in terms of what he's shown people. So he's not given away a hell of a lot. There's some pictures of him in T-shirts, some older pictures of him. But we know he's a big boy. We know he's a beast. We've seen some training videos of him recently. I think he was training with, I forget his name now, but you've seen some training videos of him recently. He's looking pretty good. So I'm going to put De La Rosa down as a surprise 10. It's a big guy. Next up is Michael Lockett. Now that might surprise a lot of people because Michael Lockett traditionally is not placed very high. He's got a bit of an issue in regards to being unbalanced between his upper body and his lower body. But looking at his latest pictures, his legs have come up. Like they definitely have come up. His upper body still towers over his lower body, but his legs have come up, and the guy gets peeled. So I'm a big fan of Michael Lockett, definitely. So Lockett's up there. Next one I've got is yeah, a little bit more controversial, baby, and it's a bit more of a question mark over him, I think. Uh, Here we go. Juan Diesel Morel. He released some pictures recently where he was looking insane. Like his conditioning looked ridiculous. He looked like Paul Dile, in terms of the vascularity and stuff. I'm not massively. I got to be honest. While the vascularity is impressive, I'm not convinced that means as much because I think the pictures were filtered. Also, while the vascularity is freaky, I know a little bit about crazy vascularity, and a lot of that comes from just being older and the skin not being quite as elastic, I think, and just training over time brings out more and more veins. So I think he looks in great shape, but I'm not sure what he's going to look like on the stage. Plus, there's always a bit of a question mark on his legs as well. Not saying he's got poor legs. I'm just saying his upper body is just tremendous, and I'm not sure his legs can always keep up with that. But what I will say is he looks far improved. He looks way better than what I've seen him previously. I think he's a lot more focused this year. Credit to him for that because there have been times in the past where he's had, I don't know, extracurricular things, let's say, which have kind of distracted him a little bit. So I think Juan is looking amazing right now, but I've got him down in eighth place because I'm uncertain about what he's going to bring, and I'm uncertain about the balance between upper and lower. After that, I've got, and again, this one, people might disagree with this one, but it's just my opinion. I've got William Bonac. And that's no reflection on Bonac, like being outside the top six. It's just because the lineup this year is so strong. Everybody's bringing it. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this year, actually. It's everybody's got everything to play for. And everybody's looking really good. I mean, we'll see on the day if people can actually bring it. But I've got Bonac here. I say that because Bonac had a meltdown of epic proportions earlier in the year. The whole look at my shit house thing, which was just weird, is the only way to describe it. Is I think like Bob Bob Chick said, just get a Hoover or something. So I think that I'm not sure who he's being coached by. I'm sure he's being coached by somebody. I'm sure he is, but I'm not sure what condition he's in. He's keeping a lot hidden away, and I think it's just going to affect you mentally. Is he going to be the kind of guy who's going to use that as fire? I don't know. Maybe. Is he going to be the kind of guy that goes off the rails? Well, judging by his meltdown, to be honest, that looks more likely. But we'll see. And again, there's no reflection on him. I just think the lineup this year is exceptionally strong. So next up is, and I hate to put this here because I really like this guy, is Luke Sandow. And again, this is not a reflection on his physique. I think he looks absolutely fucking tremendous. But the lineup is so strong this year. It's Luke. The reason I put Luke here is, yeah, again, just because the rest of the competition is so strong. I think he's awesome. I'm a huge fan of him as a bodybuilder. I'm a huge fan of him as a personality. I think he's a top bloke, and he's got a great physique. I don't think he's got that grainy look yet. And I know he gets pissed off when people saying that. I'm not saying to him, get grainy. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I think that comes over time. I think he's been training for 6 years or so. He's still pretty young. Is he still in his 20s? Maybe I'm not too sure. But I think he's made tremendous improvements. He's better now than when he was at Tampa. And I absolutely think at some point he's got the potential to do very, very, very well. Potentially even Olympia winning physique. But I think it's one of those things where you just don't get that lean without a lot of times getting lean, then going up, then going down again, then going up again, down again. It's just what I've seen. I think it takes time. So tremendous physique, as lean as he can possibly be at this stage. I think he's worked really hard for that. He's been dieting for like 10 months or something stupid like that. Awesome physique, great guy. But in this lineup, yeah, that's where I see him, sixth place. Next up, this one might be a surprise to some people, but I really rate this guy. And it's Steve Kuklo. Yeah, the King Snake. Now, I'll tell you why I rate him so highly. Uh, he's got the type of build where he can, and I'm gonna use the phrase because I don't know if anyone's ever used the phrase before. I think I invented it. We'll see. But he could cutler the competition. I'll explain what I mean by that. He's big enough structurally where you can see a photo of him and he may not look that extremely impressive, right? And you can see a photo of somebody else, like a Michael Lockett or whoever, who's going to look like really good, symmetrical, tight, everything. But you put Kuklo next to some smaller guys in a lineup, and he just outmasses them. He just outsizes them, and that's what Cutler did. And you could look at individual pictures of Cutler, and let's go ahead and take Cutler 2009. People can complain about his waist, and that's nothing to do with his gut being distended or anything. It's just simply the fact that he has genetically a wide waist. It's no big deal. It's just a wide waist. But um, sorry, but you put him next to guys who are just structurally smaller than him, and he just makes them look like kids. We saw when Cutler did that with a young Kai Green and a young Phil Heath. They both looked amazing, and they both had amazing lines and symmetry, and they had good size at that point. I think they were both pushing about 250. Cutler stood next to him, and he made them look like children. It was lights out, and that's what I mean by Cutler in the competition. I think Kuklo eventually, at some point, has actually got a shot, legitimate shot of being Mr. O because he's just structurally that big. I think he needs to bring up his back. I think he needs to get conditioned on a consistent basis. But yeah, the potential is there for him to be Mr. O. Plus, he kind of fits that Mr. O profile as well. He's like Mr. Goody Two Shoes and shit, and he's very very American as well. So, but anyway, physique wise, I've got a lot of time for Steve. So that's number 5. Number 3 and number 4 were super super close. Super close. Number 4, I'm going to put Dexter. Yeah, I'm going to put Dexter. I saw a recent picture of Dexter. I know that, and again, I'm a huge fan of Dexter. I'm a huge fan of all these guys, really. Anyone who's in my top 10, I'm a big fan of. I saw a picture of Dexter recently, and I actually wasn't that impressed. A lot of people were like, "Whoa, Dexter looks amazing," blah blah. But I saw a bit of distension. I saw some oddities in his, I think it was his right lat, and he just didn't have the wow factor. But that's characteristic with Dexter, though. He's not that wow type of character. He's the kind of guy who's consistently there and shredded all the time. And if anyone else slips up, he's going to be there. He's balanced, he's shredded, and that's dangerous. And he's got size. So I think he's going to, just by virtue of being just insanely shredded and professional, he's going to outdo a lot of those guys. But I don't think he can crack the top 3. I'd fucking love it if he did. I'd love it if he won the O and he just retired with 50 professional wins. That would be amazing. Like, I'd love that for Dexter because I think also he's a great guy. He's got a great personality. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram, but he does these stories where he just like sings along to old rap music. And it's a lot of the stuff I used to listen to when I was a kid. So I love it. Like late 90s and early 90s. So he's great. But I think some of the physiques that are happening now, particularly the next 2 that I'm about to name, they've gone to lengths which a lot of other competitors just haven't gone to, and it shows. I really think these next 3 represent the next evolution in bodybuilding, and it's nothing to do with drugs or protocol. It's to do with completely living the lifestyle. So this is where it gets kind of tense. The next up, I've got Hadi Choopan. I think this guy's insane. I think this guy is absolutely insane. You show a picture of Hadi to, and I've done this. You show a picture of Hadi to people who aren't even interested in bodybuilding, who don't know anything about bodybuilding, and they'll immediately look at him over pictures of anybody else, Curry, Rowley, Dexter, Kuklo, Sandow. They'll immediately look at Hadi and go, "Whoa!" They see it because he's just so ridiculous looking. I've never seen anything like Hadi in my life. And the best thing is, he's not just an Instagram hero either. Like, he went on stage, Vancouver Pro, destroyed everyone. It was a clear-cut victory. There was him in first place, Diasher in second place, and every single one of the judges voted in favor of Hadi being number one. There was no 2-1 victory, no nothing. He was a clear winner. Clear winner. He went in and destroyed the competition. There was no competition. And if you look at the pictures, he was ridiculously hard, ridiculously big, ridiculously grainy. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I've never seen anything like that ever. The closest I've seen to that is Dorian. Uh, early to mid career Dorian was insane. Very early Cutler was insane. But even then, I'm not sure it's the same as Hadi. There's something about him. I just can't even put my finger on it. I've never seen that combination of size, density, and shreds. It's ridiculous. He just looks like he's from a different planet. It's absolutely insane. I don't think it's enough to win, unfortunately. Some people do. Some people have got him down as a winner. I personally think his height's going to count against him, but I think he's fucking incredible. Just, yeah, I couldn't say better things about him. I think he's just absolutely incredible. Next up is the top two. This is going to be really difficult because there's one of them who I really want to win, and I think he deserves to win, and the other one who, logically, looking at the pictures, looking at the structure, I think will probably win. So I'm going to say Ruli number two, because, and statistically and on paper he should be the best shot, because last year the only two people who beat him are not competing this year. So Phil and Sean, they're not in it. But Ruli, I think, is going to be second. And I do believe Ruli's going to bring it. Like, I think he's going to get shredded and he's going to come in the best he's ever come in. I think he's going to come in just as good as he was last Olympia. I don't think he's going to leave anything to chance this year. People always talk about, like, he never gets into condition. He never gets into condition. No, it's bullshit. Of course he does. We saw him last year at the Olympia. He was in condition. He wouldn't have got third place if he wasn't in condition. That's bullshit. Like, yeah, he's been inconsistent in the past, but to say he's never been in condition is absolute bullshit. He brought it last year. He brought it hard. And a lot of people think he should have come second last year, which would make him the absolute clear favorite this year. And he's even bigger this year. We've seen that. He's got everything to fight for. I would love for Ruli to win because he represents the type of physique that I like. He's just insanely big. And he's just got insane muscle belly. He's got ridiculous size. His arms are just bigger than most people's, like, waists, never mind legs. He's just crazy. I'd love for Ruli to win, but I think he's going to lack structurally against the next guy, which is Brandon Curry. I think it's come at the right time for Brandon. He's got the right structure. He's got amazing muscle bellies, huge size, and he's conditioned. The only thing that he had going against him previously was that he kind of lost his legs a few weeks prior to the O. But we've seen current pictures of him. He looks better. He looks bigger. His legs are still there. Based on that, there's nothing missing. I don't see anything which isn't there from Curry. He ticks all the boxes. He's huge, he's shredded, and he's structurally very, very sound. And it was very clear to see when you put Curry against Bonac in the competition last year. I think it was Arnold. It was very clear to see that structurally Curry is just blessed with a wider structure, wider clavicles, tighter waist. He's just wider and bigger. You put Bonac next to him, and Bonac just looks so compact. Even though Bonac is probably more muscular than him, he's just not a pleasing physique to look at. So I think Curry brings that good balance. And I think for that reason, and pretty much that reason alone, which is really just a look at the drawers, it's how you're built, what you're born with, unfortunately, puts him top. I say unfortunately, I shouldn't really say that, but it's just because I'm a huge fan of Ruli's. But that's my top 10 predictions. So we've got Brandon Curry, Ruli, Hadi Choopan, Dexter Jackson, Steve Kuclo, Luke Sandow, William Bonac, Juan Morel, Michael Lockett, and John De La Rosa. That's the top 10. I'm going to call it there. The next time you hear from me will be on Sunday when we know for certain what the placings are. And as I say, I am very excited. I can't wait for this one. This one for me is huge. I'm super excited about this one. Right, everyone. Speak to you soon. Let's hope for a good weekend.